On September 5, 2017, Macro's emergency fuel management personnel were sent to the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico in preparation for the arrival of Hurricane Irma. With Hurricane Maria arriving less than 2 weeks later, Macro flew in additional personnel and assets in order to provide a faster response time in support of FEMA's plans to expand operations. With commercial flights suspended, a jet was chartered by Macro to ensure the rapid response team members made it to the island. Beyond the utter devastation to property and facilities throughout the islands, millions were left without power, food, and fuel. Dispersed throughout the main island of Puerto Rico, as well as the islands of Culebra, Vieques, St. John, St. Thomas, and St. Croix, Macro's initial mission was to provide fuel to first responders, government vehicles, and generators at critical infrastructure facilities, such as hospitals, communication towers, the San Juan Airport, water systems, sewage, and pumps drawing down the Guajaraca Dam to avoid a breach. As fuel supply at gas stations returned, Macro was able to refocus its efforts on supporting the increased number of FEMA generators that were shipped to supply power for government buildings, schools, and medical facilities. While Macro's initial mission was to support FEMA, additional companies and organizations were able to utilize Macro's assets and personnel during the recovery efforts. A few of these included the Defense Logistics Agency, AT&T, Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Fluor Group, New York Power and Authority, and ComEd. By deploying a management team prior to the majority of the fueling assets arriving, Macro was able to overcome the many challenges that this mission provided. In addition to establishing communications and providing food and lodging for personnel, Macro had to find solutions for the challenges of working on multiple islands, navigating mountainous terrain that required four-wheel drive and military-grade trucks, and the hiring of interpreters to assist with language barriers. An 8 million-gallon fuel barge was also brought in order to meet the ongoing fuel delivery and storage needs. At the height of the operation, Macro had over 375 personnel on the ground, with 427 total assets, including both fuel trucks and tanks. 175,000 gallons of fuel were distributed per day at the peak of the event, with 1.2 million gallons delivered each week. The event total was over 21 million gallons. Operations for this event alone ran 24 hours per day, every day for 17 months straight, making it the largest single event Macro has ever worked, all the while still responding to Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Florence, and Michael. Macro was the first U.S.-based emergency fuel supplier to arrive in Puerto Rico, and the last to leave, ending its mission there on December 31st, 2018. Macro Emergency Fuel Management, the ability to respond quickly with the resources to complete the job.